De Canadees-Engelse auteur Tom Rachman ontving met zijn debuutroman The Imperfectionist meteen lovende commentaren van critici. Inmiddels is het boek ook vertaald naar het Nederlands onder de titel De Onvolmaakten. Wij spraken hem tijdens zijn bezoek in Amsterdam.
Well, it's many stories really. It's set at an international newspaper in Rome, and it tells the tales of the people who work there, and in one case a reader. Progressively, as the novel goes along, then their stories start to intertwine, and you get the history of this particular newspaper and also of the newspaper industry as well.
Rachman was lange tijd zelf journalist voor internationale kranten. Hij weet dus precies hoe die wereld in elkaar zit.
Would you call this a satirical novel?
I think it has some elements of satire, and it has some comic elements too. But it also has a great deal of sadness in the personal lives of many of these characters. I wanted to combine the two, and I wanted the newspaper and the newspaper world to be really a sort of backdrop to it. But as anyone who's read it will know, it's really the story of the people who are there, much more than it is of the newspaper world.
De Onvolmaakten verschijnt in 20 verschillende talen, wat een zeldzaam feit is voor een debuutroman.
It's one of the greatest thrills of the whole process, actually, because I've read so many of the novels that I've loved in translation, and the idea that somebody whose language is completely different from mine, somebody with whom I couldn't exchange 3 words, could understand all that I wanted to express in that book is the most marvelous feeling. So I'm just incredibly honored and amazed that that's happening.
What would be good advice for someone else who is thinking of writing a first novel?
I think that the best advice I could give would be, first of all, to refine your own taste. So read widely and don't read what you don't like. If it doesn't appeal to you, don't bother, even if people tell you that it's important. You'll find what you do like eventually. And the other thing I would encourage people is to realize that writing isn't just some sort of gift that you either have or you don't, which is a very discouraging thought if you sit there, as I did many times, writing terrible sentences. In fact, it's an extremely complicated, difficult technique that has to be built up through hours and hours and hours of practice. And if you're determined enough, then you'll certainly get to a very good point. And so, determination.